Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. You know how much we all love to dig into some of those crazy gaming rumors, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, we've got some juicy ones today. All the buzz lately has been about a potential Steam console,
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
powered by AMD's upcoming RDNA 4 graphics. I mean, just imagine that.
It would be incredible.
I know, right? It sounds almost too good to be true.
Almost like,
Yeah, and it might be.
oh,
Tom's Hardware just came out with an article that basically debunks these rumors. And honestly, I was a little bummed at first, too.
yeah, I can imagine.
But I think sometimes the real fun is figuring out why a rumor isn't true.
I agree with that. You can learn so much.
Yeah, so today we're going to do just that. What can we learn from this whole Steam console thing about Valve's plans and what it might mean for handheld gaming in general?
I think that's a great question. It's a good opportunity to really look past all the hype and understand how console development really works.
All right, so let's break it down. What's the first thing that jumps out at you when you hear RDNA 4 Steam console?
Well, for starters, consoles are almost always a generation or two behind when it comes to the absolute newest PC components.
So you're saying it's not as simple as just taking the latest and greatest chip and throwing it into a box?
Right. It takes a lot of time to finalize the hardware design, make sure everything works perfectly, and then give developers enough time to create games specifically for that hardware.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, look at the Steam Deck. It launched with RDNA 2 architecture, which is already a couple of years old by then.
Exactly. And RDNA 4 is brand new.
Oh,
Like if you were trying to build a house before even finishing the blueprints,
yeah, that's a great analogy. So even if Valve wanted to make a console with RDNA 4 right now, it's just not really practical.
not at this stage. Yeah.
And there's another big factor here that we can't ignore: power consumption.
Especially for a handheld.
Yeah, exactly. How do you cram that much performance into a tiny device without killing the battery life?
That's the challenge. Everyone loves features like ray tracing, but they're really power hungry. And RDNA 4 in its current form could be amazing for high-end PCs, but in a handheld, it might be a battery life nightmare,
You'd be charging that thing every hour.
pretty much.
Okay, so we've got the timeline issue and the power problem. But Valve's been pretty busy with hardware lately.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Remember those leaked images of a redesigned Steam controller and some next-gen VR controllers? What do you make of those?
Well, those leaks definitely got people talking. Some people think it means Valve's bringing back the Steam Link or even the Steam machines.
Oh, yeah.
Others think it's just about improving the Steam Deck's experience when it's docked.
Right.
Honestly, it's still too early to know for sure.
It does make you wonder, though, what if Valve isn't just thinking about one console, but a whole ecosystem of devices?
Now, that's where things get really interesting.
Right.
I mean, think about SteamOS 3. That was a huge move. Basically, it opened the door for other companies to make their own devices running on SteamOS.
So we could see all sorts of different form factors, like mini PCs or even laptops, all designed for the Steam library.
Exactly. We could see a whole range of SteamOS devices tailored to different needs and budgets.
So maybe a dedicated Steam console isn't even necessary if other companies are filling those gaps.
That's a real possibility.
Yeah.
And imagine a company making a larger Steam machine specifically for things like ray tracing.
Oh, wow.
It'd have more space, better cooling,
Yeah.
and battery life wouldn't be such a concern.
Yeah, that could be a real game changer for people who want that high-end experience without building a gaming PC.
Absolutely. It would open up a lot of options.
Okay, so even without a dedicated Steam console, we could still see a really exciting SteamOS ecosystem.
Definitely.
A lot of potential there.
This is making me think about the Steam Deck itself. I mean, it's already a hybrid device. It's a handheld and a console when docked.
Right. It's already more powerful than the Switch, and it doesn't compete directly with PlayStation or Xbox.
So do you think focusing just on the deck could be limiting their options?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is a separate console the only way to get that next-gen performance leap? Or are there other paths Valve could take? That's what we're going to explore next. The truth is, there are tons of exciting advancements happening that could seriously improve handheld gaming without needing a whole new console.
That's right. There's a lot to unpack there.
I can't wait. Let's take a quick break and we'll dive into that right after this.
You know, it's interesting. It feels like we're moving past that era where just raw power was the most important thing.
Yeah, for sure.
For years, it was all about pushing graphics to the absolute limit. But now with handhelds, like the deck becoming so popular, there's so many other factors to think about.
Definitely. It's a big shift. For a long time, console generations were all about how much better the graphics were. But now things like battery life ergonomics,
Yeah.
even the user interface, those are make or break features.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've had handhelds that looked awesome on paper, but were actually terrible to use. Uncomfortable. The battery died way too fast.
I know exactly what you mean. It can
Yeah.
totally ruin the experience. And I think that's where Valve really got it right with the deck. They put so much thought into the design, how it feels in your hand, how easy the controls and the software are to use.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's well designed for sure.
Yeah, and they even made it pretty easy to tinker with, which is huge for people who like to customize their devices. But even with all that, you can't escape the performance question.
Right. It all comes back to that.
How do you balance power and portability?
It's a tough one for sure. But I think the Steam Deck proves that you don't need to match the raw power of a high-end PC to create a great gaming experience.
Yeah, I was actually surprised by how well some of those AAA games ran on the deck, even though it's not as powerful as a PS5 or an Xbox Series X.
That's because Valve is so good at software optimization. They've really squeezed every bit of performance out of that custom APU. By fine-tuning the operating system, the driver's even working closely with game devs to make sure their engines run smoothly.
And that optimization gets better over time, too, right?
Absolutely. As developers learn how to get the most out of the hardware, we should see even better performance.
It's like this awesome feedback loop.
Exactly. And that's what makes me so excited about the future of handheld gaming. We've seen so much progress in just the past few years, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down at all.
I'm already trying to imagine what a Steam Deck 3 or 4 could do. More powerful processors, even longer battery life, maybe some crazy new display tech we haven't even thought of yet.
Who knows?
Yeah.
We might see advancements in things like haptics, audio, even augmented reality features that blend the virtual and real worlds.
Okay, now you're really getting me hyped. Imagine playing a game on your handheld and then projecting it onto a wall, or interacting with virtual objects in your living room.
That's the kind of future I'm excited about gaming that isn't tied to a specific device or location. It just becomes a part of your life.
And that's not some distant sci-fi fantasy, right?
No way. With how fast mobile tech, cloud computing, and AI are advancing, it feels like that future is closer than ever.
Okay, so let's talk about what this means for the average gamer. It's fun to think about these futuristic scenarios, but how will these advancements actually change how we experience games?
When it comes down to it, it's all about the games themselves. All this technology means more immersive, engaging, and accessible experiences than ever before.
So you're talking about games that look and feel incredible no matter what you're playing on.
Exactly. And it's not just about graphics either. It's about
Yeah.
richer stories, more complex characters, gameplay that really pushes the boundaries of what we thought was possible in games.
And we can't forget about the potential for even more creative indie games.
That's huge. Powerful handhelds like the Steam Deck open up so many opportunities for indie devs who might not have the resources to make console games.
You're right. I'm already seeing that with the deck. There are so many awesome indie games that are perfect for playing on the go. And it's so cool to see devs embracing what the deck can do.
This is only the beginning. As the tech gets better, expect even more groundbreaking games that challenge what we think a game can be.
Man, this is getting me excited. It feels like a brand new era in gaming is starting.
I agree. I think the best is yet to come.
It's wild to think about, right? It's not even just about the games themselves getting better.
What do you mean?
This whole evolution of gaming hardware, especially on the handheld side, it makes you think about what it could mean for other parts of our lives.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lines are definitely blurring between gaming and things like work or even education.
Exactly. A few years ago, who would have thought we'd be using game engines to create virtual worlds for business meetings or to teach people things?
It's pretty amazing when you think about it. Tech that used to be just for fun is now being used in so many different fields. Healthcare, architecture, engineering. I mean, the possibilities are endless.
It's like gaming is becoming this gateway to a whole new digital world. And as handhelds get more powerful, that gateway just gets wider and wider.
Yeah, more people can walk through it.
Right. And think about mobile gaming. That's already brought millions of people into the world of gaming. And as these handhelds keep evolving, they could really bridge the gap between casual gamers and the hardcore crowd.
That'd be awesome.
Imagine a world where everyone, no matter their age or how tech-savvy they are, can experience the joy of gaming. Whether it's a simple puzzle game on their phone or some crazy immersive VR adventure on a super advanced handheld, there's something out there for everyone.
And that's what makes this such an exciting time to be following the gaming industry. It goes way beyond the tech itself. It's about how that tech helps people connect with each other, to create things, to explore new possibilities.
It feels like we're at the start of a new renaissance, but instead of art and literature, we're exploring the potential of these digital worlds and interactive experiences.
I like that comparison
Yeah.
a lot. And just like the Renaissance, this new era is being driven by curiosity, creativity, and this drive to push the boundaries of what's possible.
You know what? It's been awesome exploring these ideas with you. We started by debunking those Steam console rumors, then we dove into the future of handheld gaming, and now we're talking about a whole new digital renaissance. That's quite a journey.
It really is. It's always fun to dig into these topics. There's always something new to discover if you're willing to look.
Absolutely. And of course, we always like to leave our listeners with something to think about. So here's a question for you. Imagine you could design the ultimate gaming device, one that combines the best of handhelds, consoles, and PCs. What would it look like? What features would it have? And most importantly, what kind of experiences would it enable?
That's a great question. Something
Yeah.
to really think about.
Let those imaginations run wild, folks. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of gaming. Until next time, keep exploring, keep playing, and most importantly, keep dreaming big.